You're listening to Moon Monkey. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Independence Day, directed by Roland Emmerich.
So yeah, as the new Independence Day is coming out this week, as we record this, we thought we'd talk a bit about the classic Independence Day.
Yeah, the original and possibly best, but we don't know because we
don't
haven't
know,
seen
it. But maybe the definitive Independence Day of 1996. So everybody probably knows what goes on Independence Day. Aliens appear, and it's up to Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Two stalwarts of 90s movies.
Yeah. It's
to save the day.
Yeah.
To save the Earth.
It's basically an alien invasion movie where those two have to save the Earth. Yeah. I think the big thing when this film first came out was just the scale of it. I think that's what impressed people. Like back in 1996, like the 90s were really the decade when big budget special effects and kind of huge scale super summer blockbusters were coming out.
When this came out though, this was like the granddaddy of big summer blockbuster movies. This kind of started it all. So you could look at it as maybe a positive or negative.
Yeah.
Depending on how much you like.
I mean, I think it was like the scene that probably everybody knows if you've seen the movie, where the alien spaceship hovers over the White House and blows it up. Oh yeah, that's really... I think that's on the cover of most of the boxes, and it was probably on the posters. Yeah. But yeah, something like that, people had not really seen before, and like how have they done that? Yeah. Like how the special effects were just incredible at the time.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
Yeah, and it was a big epic. And the film is a really epic movie because you're following a couple different stories. You're following Will Smith's story. Will Smith is training to be in the Air Force, I think.
No, he's a captain
in the Air Force.
Yeah,
is he not going for a promotion or something?
He wants to work for NASA.
Oh yeah, he wants to work for NASA. So yeah, his story, and he's got like his wife and son as well. And then you're following Jeff Goldblum's story, who's a programmer. I'm
not entirely sure what Jeff Goldblum does.
He plays chess in the park with the old people.
With his dad. Judd Hirsch is Julius Levinson, and Jeff Goldblum is David Levinson. Yeah. And they've got a really good relationship in the movie. It's father and son. And both very good actors.
They have a lot of the comic scenes in the movie.
Judge Hirsch has some really good lines.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum, which in the 90s is just him stuttering around in glasses. Going,
he was very popular. Yeah. This after Jurassic Park, I think, came out a couple of years before this.
But Jeff Goldblum plays this kind of super smart guy who's not really doing a huge amount with his life. No. But he was at MIT and stuff, and he's a really smart guy, but he's just in some kind of office, I think, and he's obsessed with recycling, and he wants to...
Oh yeah, that's it. He's obsessed with recycling product placement.
He's obsessed with recycling Coke cans. There's a lot of Coke in this movie.
Yeah.
And not the drugs, but the soft drink.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why Jeff Goldblum was obsessed with recycling.
We're just doing even more promotional for Coke.
We're not paid by Coca-Cola.
That promotion really paid off within that film.
Now they've got us as well. Don't send us free products.
Well, he figures out what they're attempting to do because they're positioning themselves around the Earth from the mothership.
He cracks the code.
Yeah, so they can send their beacons around and coordinate their attacks. Because the idea is they're going to attack like all at one time. That's the reason why.
And luckily, in the plot of this movie, Jeff Goldblum's ex-wife happens to work in the White House, which is really handy because it gets them access to the president.
Yeah,
played by Bill Pullman.
Who does a good performance.
He's a decent president. He's looking very young.
He's kind of the third string in the movie. Yeah. Actually, there's also the guy who does the crop spraying, the kind of drunken guy who's
Randy Quaid.
Yeah. Who was abducted by aliens previously.
Yeah, so he's got a vendetta.
And he's always imagined that they would come back.
Yeah, he knew it. He's been saying it for years.
Yeah.
So there's loads of links throughout the movie, which is quite handy. The plot is you've really got to just go with it. Because it's a very cheesy movie.
Well, that's the thing. The plot is fairly straightforward, but it just follows four different characters through the story.
But the thing is, you've got to really think. A lot of this is really handy
I mean, I don't know how they didn't see the alien spaceships coming until they were literally at the Earth. Is it not like as it flies over the moon, they're like, they're almost here?
It's in between the moon and the Earth, and they say, well, are you sure? And really, they could just look at this point. Really, just look into the sky with any telescope, and you'd probably see this huge mothership.
Well, you could probably just look with your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, if you can see the moon, you can see the ships.
You're going to see the mothership. But they don't really believe it. And also, there's loads of plot holes. There's because they take down aliens with a virus.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Jeff Goldblum has a MacBook, and apparently it can sync really easily with an alien mothership for some reason. That isn't really fully explained.
That's the thing that, like, even now people are still laughing about the fact that he just managed to hack into the computers with basically human something that we developed on Earth.
That's what I'm saying, and also the fact that the aliens don't have antivirus software on the mothership. There's loads of little things that you have to kind of give into, but it's a big blockbuster. It's a cheesy movie, but I suppose it is, in a way, a nostalgic look back, at least for us.
Yeah.
Because when we were young, it was a huge movie and a big deal. And as you're saying, with the scene blowing up the White House, blowing up the Empire State Building, it was really cool special effects, and it's a good sci-fi movie. In a way, but what I did like about it is it does go into the Area 51 and Roswell stuff. Like, we did have all this. That's when it kind of got interesting for me. Like, looking back on it, the aliens look ridiculous though. They don't look entirely scary to me. I just think not the greatest aliens.
I always thought the aliens were really good, and I like the scene when they were in Roswell and the aliens are in the glass tank, and that always freaked me out when I watched it. When I was
younger, I was so freaked out by it.
Yeah.
Mostly because they're killing Brett Spinner, who plays Data on Star Trek Next Generation. I'm like, they killed Data.
Because they do like the mind thing, because they've got
they communicate
powers or telepathy. Yeah. That was always really weird. And also they've got like strobe lighting and gas and everything going on.
As a kid it was horrible, but having watched it yesterday again, I was like, they don't look that amazing.
Not that good.
Yeah, I just think...
Other good things about the movie. I like the dogfight at the end when they were all in the planes. That's like one of my favourite action scenes, I think, that I've seen. Or that's that type of action scene. Again, like, it's a lot of CG used, but... Yeah, you can't really help it.
The thing I look back on it is it's a very quotable movie. There's loads of one-liners. The classic one with Will Smith where the alien pops out the ship. He punches it, "Welcome to Earth." And he smokes a cigar, and that's what I call a close encounter. There's loads of quotable bits, and there is some funny moments. Like Judge Hirsch has a lot of good lines. He's talking about John Lennon, smart man, shot in the back, very sad. Because he's saying all you need is love. Judge Hirsch, all you need is love, and then John Lennon shot in the back, very sad.
That's the thing. It maybe was a kind of tongue-in-cheek movie even at the time. Like, it wasn't meant to be taken that seriously. Like, I know a lot of people now with the new one coming out, because like we say, people looking back nostalgically, saying, "Oh, this was incredible." And a lot of people I know said, it wasn't even that good at the time. It was just ridiculous. But it just captured something. Like, it was. The thing is, it was good popcorn entertainment. That's what it was. Yeah. Like, it's not meant to be serious. It's just popcorn entertainment. Like, the scene when they go up on the roof always made me laugh. And they're holding up the banners like welcome to all the aliens.
And the one of them's like, "I hope they bring Elvis back."
And it just like blows the building apart. And the bit that was like so 90s when the dog is trying to like get out of the tunnel.
Yeah, Boomer the dog.
Does it not actually start going in slow motion as well?
Boomer the dog's running across all the cars. There's a fireball coming down this tunnel, and Boomer just makes it inside the door. Just at the moment the fireball rushes past, and for some reason the fireball doesn't go into the stationary cupboard. Not the stationary cupboard, but
that's the logic of big budget blockbusters.
Boomer made it.
Yeah, but this movie came out like around this time. I remember there was other films such as you had like Dante's Peak and Volcano and Deep Impact, Armageddon. I think it was 97. Just after this,
Day After Tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow. There was a lot of films coming out. Or Day After Tomorrow might have been a little later, but that was like following the same trend. Was that also Roland Emmerich did Day After Tomorrow?
Maybe.
But the kind of epic disaster movies,
and this started it all.
Yeah, but there hadn't been many for a while. I suppose like Towering Inferno and the Poseidon. What was the one where it's like the ship capsized? I want to say Poseidon Adventure. That might be wrong. But yeah, a lot of big budget blockbusters came out kind of in the golden era of Hollywood, I suppose, like a lot earlier. And then they went through kind of a period where that kind of movie wasn't really getting made. It was all crime or like low, smaller scale films, I guess you'd say. And the 90s kind of brought this back. Now I think we're going through the generation of superhero movies. Where the 90s was definitely like the disaster movie or the big budget sci-fi, which this was definitely a prime example. But yeah, the actors in the movie, I thought Will Smith was really good. At this time, he was kind of he just started off, but he was like a super huge at this time.
I don't know if he was huge because of Fresh Prince or because of Independence Day. I think it might have been Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Independence Day, Men in Black, and that kind of. Now he's
like he was famous, like because like he had his music career and did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air before this, but like this put him on like a whole new level of because he became like a movie star. Whereas before, like people probably knew his name, but this was like because this movie I think took a lot of money and it was a huge film when it came out. Men in Black, like I love Men in Black. But he was such a good actor. I mean, he still is. Like, I haven't seen him in much recent. I think recently he's done more drama and not so many of the kind of action films or comedy roles, which was what he kind of made his name at. Which I think he's so suited to because he's really charismatic.
It was extremely good in this. I think you can see why it launched his career because he played the kind of swashbuckling hero.
I think he just suits the
really
role.
Well,
It's like something like I Am Legend, or recently he was in was it called Concussion? It wasn't called Concussion, was it? It was called something else.
You've had a concussion, you've forgotten.
But it's the movie where he's like working with NFL players.
Concussion. Yeah. Well, that was a more serious one.
Yeah,
definitely.
But like even something like I Am Legend, where it like doesn't have like as many jokes.
Maybe it was Concussion. Who knows?
It might have been. But yeah, like really, now he's doing the more serious roles. I really think like he needs to do more comedy roles. So I'm hoping with Suicide Squad, which is coming out later this year, he'll be back to a kind of wisecracking, cool role.
Really, the main thing that I'm worried about the new Independence Day is it's probably still going to be a big cheesy blockbuster that's not got a lot in it, and the plot's probably going to be a bit thin on the detail. But it's not got Will Smith.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a bit of an issue.
That's the thing, they were kind of the big partnership. I think Roland Emmerich wanted to get the two of them back to do it. Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith. But
Will Smith was doing Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Because I think he wanted to get away... Because like I said, I think he's trying to do different films now. He doesn't want to go back and do what he was doing in the 90s.
But I think like it would have made a lot of sense from the movie's point of view to try and get Will Smith. And it also...
I don't know. At the end of this film... At the end of the film, like they do blow up the mothership, but it doesn't really it doesn't really even set itself up for a second movie, does it?
But if you're going to do one, it makes sense to try and get them back. That's all I would say.
But it would be kind of like with Men in Black 2. It's like you finish that story to get them back. You would have to have such a convoluted reason for these two same guys to come back. Well, I suppose you could just say, oh yeah, they were the guys who were there originally.
And also, like a lot of the population of the Earth has just been wiped out when we finish Independence Day.
Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum are the two surviving members repopulating the Earth.
Unless there's some kind of explanation as why Will Smith isn't there. If you're going to fight the aliens for a second time, they better mention in the new one where is Captain. Yeah. Really, because he took down the mothership successfully. Well, if we've got a second invasion, where's the guy who took down the first one?
My guess would be, because Jeff Goldblum's in it, there will be some reference, even if it's just a passing.
They should. That's all I ask.
Even if it just opens with him standing at his grave.
The dust moves above the coffin.
Like, well, he's not going to be back for the dust moves above the coffin, and that's how they know the aliens have come back.
It's either that or it's a T-Rex. I don't know. But all the characters in it, I'd say, have like loads of labels because they've got like black guy, white guy. They've got some Jews. They've got some Arabs. They've got some. That is. They're just like they've got the whole globe, and it's just a very small bit. And it's like they've got the black guy, the white guy. They've got Jews. They've got Arabs. They've got some homosexuals running around saying, "Oh my God," to Jeff Goldblum. And that's what I thought. They're just.
Oh, the guy who was in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, he was in Mrs. Doubtfire. I think it's like Harvey Fierstein or something. And then they've got the British Army guy because he's got to be there. and as Will Smith's girlfriend's a stripper.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like they've got all these different things just going on.
I remember
It's
always
just,
thinking that was weird, because when this film came out, I would have been 10 years old. Yeah, I always thought it was kind of weird that she was a stripper, because it's like, I don't know what the rating was in this film, but it was like a kid's film.
She doesn't really. She's just
No,
on
I know
pole
she doesn't
there.
strip, but it's like, it seems weird that they would put that in a
What's
kid's
really
film.
weird is there's alien ships all around Earth, and she's still stripping. She's at work stripping.
You gotta make the money.
The world could end at any moment, and she's like, "Oh, I'll just go for another shift." But yeah, what I didn't like is they have all. It's not I don't like it, but I feel like they just kind of chucked it all in there and saying, "Look, everybody should unite because if we do get, there's that kind of element to it." But it's just a nice message. It's a nice message, but
Well, even the end of the film, they go around the world, and it's like all the different militaries.
Oh,
they send the message, and
that's what I mean. It's just like, "Oh, thank you, America, because America's going to save us all."
yeah.
Which slightly
It's like, is that not what they were ribbing in? Is it Iron Sky, the one where it's like the Nazis on the moon? There's the scene in that where it's like, "Thanks, Australia," like to all the different like countries that are joining this alliance.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice message that they were trying to do. I get what they were trying to
But
do.
the thing is,
Everybody
like,
should unite against it.
The entire film is set in America, pretty much, and then it's only that nod at the end to like, "Oh, let's call everyone else in the world and just tell them what we're like, how to stop the aliens," as though like, no other country in the world would have worked that out. One of the funniest ones is they actually cut to like a scene of Maasai warriors who've also managed to bring down an alien ship somehow. They're just standing there with spears. It's like, I don't know what air force they mustered.
I think maybe they're just looking at the sky.
No, well, they're looking at like there is a ship that's like crashed, so it's like, okay, obviously someone must have brought that down.
Yeah.
But I know there's like one in the Middle East, and there's like the British people talking, and in Europe. And other places.
I just think maybe they could have focused on more of that instead of just throwing all these different types of characters in there. Just
I don't know. Well, the whole thing is like, it really is an American fantasy, isn't it? Like, America saves the world again, saves us from alien invasion.
I just feel on reflection or on rewatching it that it's a bunch of stereotypes and characters fleshed out in a very kind of shallow way to highlight a very important issue. And it's not entirely great for the female characters who are essentially a stripper and the president's wife.
Yeah. Well, this was the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't much. But you did have a black guy as like one of the
I'm
heroes.
not.
And a black guy and a Jewish guy.
I'm not saying that. They did try to.
Small steps, baby steps. We'll get there. We'll get there someday. Well, the new film, they don't even have the black guy, so they've taken a step backwards.
No, I think there is a black guy. I think there's the pilot.
Token black character.
I think it's cheaper Will Smith.
Alright.
It might be really good. We're going to see
cheaper
it.
Will Smith. Yeah, pretty much every actor is cheaper Will Smith at this point. It is a really good film. Like, it's an entertaining movie. Like, that's all you can really say about it.
It's a very entertaining movie, and it's probably as I said before, the granddad of the big summer blockbuster. And they're going to do another one.
Yeah.
And it'll probably make a load of money. And go and see it because you've got it in a sweepstakes.
Yeah. And when we
you do have it in a sweepstakes. You've got your thing like what's going to.
Oh, Independence Day Resurgence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't remember where I put it. Hopefully not very high up. Yeah, I have a bet on was like what's going to be the top 3 grossing movies of this year. But I honestly can't remember. I think I actually put it quite high up.
I think you did,
because I thought this is going to be this nostalgia ticket. Yeah. Everyone who loved the 1990s would go back to see this movie, and it'll be a kind of. From what I've heard of the plot of the new one, it's like they're using the alien technology they found from the first film, so it's a more like futuristic Earth that we're going to see in the film. Whereas obviously the 96 one was Earth as it was in 1996 being invaded. Whereas the new one is going to be more of a fantasy because it's like obviously we weren't invaded in 1996 by aliens. But yeah, when we're going to go see Independence Day Resurgence, so that'll be the next thing that we're going to review on the Moon Monkey podcast.
So we'll compare and contrast.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe, and you can catch up with us on Twitter, Facebook, Podomatic, and iTunes.